What's going down? How are y'all doing this weekend? It's your boy Z-Rex. It's, what is it, the 25th of September, 2021. Let's talk about some price action. I've been crazy busy this week trying to get some car dealer stuff going, and then my regular business. We were at the coast too earlier in the week. It's been a hell of a week. It's Saturday though. It's chill mode time. It's time to talk about some price action. Let's go ahead and just go straight to it, man. All right, let's start at total market cap. Whatever. Not really my favorite thing. You can't trade it anyway, so it's pretty much a useless metric. Sometimes you do get a little bit of clues. Got a raging clue right now. Doesn't look like there's any raging clues popping up here. Just looks more like a double top than anything. What would confirm that? We really would have to get all the way back below like 700 trillion though. I'm sorry, 700 billion. Oh my god, that would be crazy. 700 trillion. Wowza. All right, let's see. Let's just go to the daily in Bitcoin on Mama Bear. This is going to be a pretty fast video. Let's see. I got this trend line that's kind of forming right here. One thing that is interesting about this formation is we are retracing to the 618s of each one of these legs. So what I mean by that is this. You can see is a 618. And if we draw it down or drag it down, if I can. Man, why is it so sensitive? And if I drag it down to here, you can see if we kind of adjust it to that, it's rallying to the 618 here. That is not a great sign to me. The bulls can't even get any strength to kind of push back up over that. So I do think that that's a little bit bearish continuation signaling. The one thing that maybe is holding a little bit of support is this weekly close. It closed right over here where the mama is trying to create like a saucer base right here at about 42. I mean, it closed right on it at 40, low 42,000s. And so it looks like Bitcoin's trying to kind of hold that area right now. Let's zoom in a tad. Yeah, a couple little, not very much though, not much price action since Friday. Being able to sustain down there. Yeah, look at all these bodies on the low time frames, right about at that price at the low 42s. So that is interesting. It might just flutter around here for a little while. I do think that the bears are getting a little bit of strength here. You can see they're working this horizontal here. If y'all don't know what that is, I talked about it before. Marking dailies whenever they cross back up into the power zone. I mark the close of that candle. And sometimes you get clusters like this one has technically it did go below it just by a C hair. But we kind of, I just kind of like split the difference. And it's like right here. So it's like whatever, who cares about $300 on crypto. Anyway, we did get a resurgence of the bears on this sell here, engulfing all this price action. So that is definitely a little bit also bearish. And so as long as we're kind of hovering below this 44,000 area, in this trend line, I don't see any reason to really get bullish on this formation. This isn't a Moon Boy channel. Get pissed at me. I don't give a shit. Write a bunch of comments how stupid I am. That's fine. But you know, we've been cautious on this since this all back over here in late August, that this is a kind of a little bit of a suspect rally, and hopefully it turns into being bullish or whatever, and blah blah blah, and we can it's easier to make money in bull markets. We can moon it up together. There is one thing that I see real quick here that I didn't see before, is we do have a falling channel. So a down sloping channel like this generally does resolve to the upside, and I don't like to clutter the chart up too much. I know I do have a lot of shit on here, but all we need to really do is look at the top part of this channel, which is already drawn on here. And really anything below 44,000 handle, bears have control. So let's go to the weekly. This is kind of shaping up to not be so sexy. This weekly is about to take out a couple of EMAs, getting rejections, kind of riding back the mama here. It looks like it's a little lower than the futures at about low 41,000s. So we still got a day on this, so anything can happen in a day. Although it is a weekend, so it probably will close something like this unless futures open tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard, unless something crazy happens in that last couple hours before the day closes. It probably will just close right here, give or take $1,000, and that's not really giving us too much. But right now, we are making lower lows, lower highs, and these are confirmed. So the daily is in a downtrend. The weekly is almost confirming a downtrend. It's still going to need probably a few more weeks unless we just get really, really crazy and close a weekly below 31,000-ish. Then this would be a confirmed lower high from this structure. So that would also suck too. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's see if the bulls can muster up the strength to break up this trend line and maybe retest like 47, 48 up here. That might look a little bit better. Then you have the chance of putting in everybody's favorite pattern in crypto, a head and shoulders, or in this case would be an inverted head and shoulders. But I think that's also getting ahead of ourselves as well. So still need a lot of work by Das Bulls. Ethereum, yep, same boat. Lower highs, lower lows on the daily. I mean, Ethereum is pretty much lost all of its recent, pretty much since the late summer in August when it looked really good. See, this is where the bulls should have really stepped their game up, not like just blow it out of the water from here, but after this retest, they should have been able to break above the 618 if they were serious about this, and they were not. They got a doji, follow through, and immediate selling, so it's being very technical here. Let's get rid of this line. I mean, it's real sloppy. These EMAs are all over the place. I mean, you can see this. Like, I mean, they're all within, what is this? The 29 and pretty much 32-ish. They're like all within a few $100 of each other. So that kind of sucks. Nothing easy to read off of that. Horizontals will be your best friend right now. And right now, they're just showing the bears still kind of got this. Now, it doesn't get super, super bearish until we get below like 2,700, which it has been a while since we did the videos. We were looking at the 33, 36 was the range. And if we lost 33, 32.80, I believe is what we were talking about. And we'd likely come back and test 27. We actually went exactly freaking there to the horizontal, the 377, and this VWAP from the high prices over here. So that is a good stalling place. And I guess it is kind of making this little sloppy H pattern. So that might be one for the bulls there, as long as they can hold this 27 hundo area. We start closing pretty much, I think, any time frame. I mean, not crack time frames or whatever, but if we start closing, curiously, did we close any crack time frames below there? It actually doesn't even look like we did. No, we didn't. Look at that, right above 27. So maybe crack time frames might be able to tell us that. Okay, so whatever. Pretty much any time frame that closes below 2,700, I do think that's going to open up the next door to 24. At minimum, and probably lower, probably like in between these two horizontals. That becomes kind of our, you can just do this by ranges. I mean, it's kind of pretty easy, that 33, 36, then we go to the 3,000 to 33. Now we're sub that, so we're kind of in this 27 to 3, and then below that is probably about 24 to 27. So anything below 27, I'd be looking for that to get tested. Probably a good bounce there. Some consolidation, and then we'll have to reassess from that. But right now, it's just not looking super, super great for Ethereum either. Sloppy EMAs. I mean, it's just a tougher read, man. So, would I buy down here? I don't think so. I don't think so. Nope. I've taken a few shorts on the retraces to former resistance. I'm sorry, former support. I used the 458 on this guy when I saw these little dojis spinning and no momentum right at the 21 EMA. And the bulls are even weaker in this. They're not even, I guess whatever. They're close enough to the 618, but they didn't even, I mean, they were still shy of it, about $100. So, you know, the bears are definitely showing the don't forget us. They are not being bitches as of now. We do have an interesting weekly here. So this weekly might kind of weigh a little bit harder for the bulls. I don't like that it kind of looks like a double top, but again, man, this 2700 area is very, very important on Ethereum. We cannot start closing below that. If we do that, I think that we're going to get some pretty swift continuation to the downside. And let's see if this 786 and 886 is agreeing with that. Yeah, it's down there in the low 2000s. So kind of going nice with our horizontals too. But, you know, until it does it, we already got the follow through from losing 33, and then we got the follow through from losing 3. So will it just chill here? Possibly. No one knows shit. We're all watching the same movie. I will say it's not super great. 2700, hold that shit, bulls, or it's going to get fugly. What would change my mind for bulls kind of totally is just really at least making a higher high, like above this 3150 area. But ultimately needs to break above this trend line and get back above about 3300. And until that happens, it's just not super sexy. Let's go look at... yeah, don't want to lose the momentum like that. It is right above the 21. I know there's not much data on this. It's only been out for, what, not even a year? Nope, not even a year. So... kind of showing the same area though, so that's nice confluence because I do like to put more weight on futures. So about 2700, the futures are showing the same thing. So very, very important level, very critical level is the 2700 area. Oh, we are going to have the monthly close next week on Friday. Let's go zoom out to that real quick. That isn't going to tell us shit. We're going to go to spot price. Yeah, I mean the monthly is just kind of whatever, right? You know, just know if you use monthly charts to get in and out, you're never, ever going to get close to the top, ever. That's just too much time. And you can see here, this month alone is down 50%. So, yeah, pretty whatever. Bitcoin. Hey, Bitcoin's actually riding on top. Let me clear up some of these drawings. Actually, not all of them, just the drawings. Yeah, I mean, we are hanging on. Man, that 42,000 has lots of confluence, like, all over the place. It's like Ethereum's kryptonite below 27 is at 42, which we have been talking about for a long time. At 42K, you start closing a few dailies below that, open and close below it. It's probably going to get ugly. And you're like, well, we closed below it right here. What happened? Well, yeah, but we didn't open and close, and it's only one candle. It's only one candle. We need at least 2 or 3 on the daily. And if that happens, then bears can get real excited. But right now, we're just kind of lollygagging right between VWAPs. Every single damn EMA is all right here. I mean, it's a cluster F, man. No doubt about it. And bears do have full dominance on the oscillators. Not so much on the... Well, yeah, actually, also on the EMAs because we're below the 200 and everything. So the only one that's kind of there is the 377, and it's all the way down close to this horizontal at about 37K. So not too sexy there. Let's go see. Litecoin coming up to the bottom of this consolidation box, getting rejection. That's not sexy either. And just getting reset on the DMI too. Man, watch out. This bitch better hold low 140s or we're probably going to 126. And really above probably about 160, then maybe we can test upper 170s. But I mean, we're in like a funky area now. It's best to just watch Mama Bear. And yes, of course, there's always things that rally, like probably AVAX, I bet, is up if I had to guess one. Yeah, there you go. See, there's always one. Well, it's down like 10%, but whatever. Oh man, what a damn chart. What a damn chart. Very nice. And this one has a pretty easy trend line. You want to kind of just look at this. It is getting ahead of itself. So if this breaks, I would be very cautious. I would look for a very nasty pullback if this trend line did break. And you could probably look for all the way down to the 40 handle. So, but right now it looks okay. XRP, look at this, comes right to the previous support at $1. Doji follow through, and we're selling some more. Now, let's go to the weekly. Man. Kind of in this little lower high, lower low of the intermediate structure, but this is kind of a funky one right here. Yeah, I don't like it below a buck. I just don't care for it below a buck. The downside risk is too big under $1. I mean, this thing could easily go down to 60, 70 cents. So I don't like the risk on this, especially yesterday's close. I mean, it's pretty damn sloppy. Below $1, I'm just not interested in longs on that. XLM kind of has a real similar chart. Go figure. And this is a full-on bearish reset on this. You're below every long-term EMA, the mama. They're opening up, pointing down. I mean, this is actually pretty damn bearish. This looks really shitty below 30 cents. Maybe above 30, 31 pennies we can look up for some 10, 15% move. But, man, this is a pretty bad chart. ETC, also very bad chart. It's looked real gross. This big candle, it didn't even have any strength to get one daily close above 59. Where this close was right on the 55 EMA, and then just drifting down. Looks really, really shitty. Yeah, don't like this. I mean, we're getting reset too in price. So if y'all listen to this channel a lot of times I don't like shorting or taking positions, even if it's a long, when the 200 is right above it or below it. But in this case, the 200 is already showing that it's resistance. We're below this trend line, and EMAs are all opened up. If this thing loses $43, it's probably going to the low 30s. Conversely, we got to get back above 51, 52 bucks. Otherwise, this thing looks really bad. Dot is kind of putting in a head and shoulders type formation here. You can see badow. So if that thing breaks, looks like the neckline's between about 26 and 27. If we did a really technical measured move on that, that puts us all the way down to the lower end of the range. Brutal. That's a 50% haircut. Very, very kind of cautious pattern here. I do not like that. Dot was looking really good before, it's showing relative strength, but it has now lost that, so not very sexy. ADA, look at this. ADA is a little bit of an outlier, rallying. It has been doing that for a long time. Coming and bouncing hard nicely off that $2 range. And, now we're up into the 240. But again, nothing's changed on this structure. I still can't get super bullish on this until it's back above 250. Below 250, that's been the same for many videos. I just am not a fan for the long side. And the weekly looks okay, to be fair. If the weekly can close kind of like this with a hammer above this, and really if it could close above 231, 232, yeah, that does give it a good shot to run up past 250 to maybe 270, and then we might reanalyze it from there. Let's see, Linky Poo. What's Linky Poo doing? Nothing terrible. Looks terrible below 25 bucks. Don't even care about it. Also, this is easy. 420 below that's trash. BC. I mean, a lot of these just look the same, man. There's just no good edge right now. I mean, there almost is like some long scalp trades possibly coming in here, but I mean, I think that's very dangerous at the moment. See how the maybe Sunday night goes and like Monday, and then I might think about pulling some of those. But right now, just chilling. Dash, I mean, you just got pressure. I mean, the bears are resetting on most of these altcoin charts. It's not good looking, guys. Same here. Very bearish setup on Doge. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, if Doge loses, man, I think if it even just goes below, damn it, there we go. At 20 cents, man, if it gets below 20 cents again, it's probably going to go to the high teens. So not very sexy there. X coins just kind of chilling at the top, almost making an ascending triangle. A daily, look at this. Look at this fib extension thing. Oh, what? TA is stupid. All right, well, whatever. To each his own. 50 cents. We get a couple dailies. It's the same thing. So I haven't made videos the last few days. Plus I've been busy. Plus it's like I looked at the charts and I was like, dude, it's the same thing as it was from that video. Same shit here. This is kind of a little ascending triangle, maybe rising wedge. You can kind of do either or, but whatever. Above 50, we probably run to 70. If we get back below like 38, 40 pennies, it's probably going to start looking a little bit ugly. I actually do not like this right here. This is pretty fugly on the 458 and a lot of volume right here. Pretty much the most volume in this consolidation. Hopefully, Hexicans, this is not distribution on your asses. Let's go look at ES real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up. ES is tried to do a real nice bounce right underneath the 10 simple on the weekly. Just like we talked about, man, this is like clockwork, dude. This thing does it all the freaking time on ES. When it breaches the 21, it almost always comes within like, 10 or so % of the 55, and you can just see we've shown this a few times. It usually happens within a few days. This one took a little bit longer to manifest, but you can see when it did break it, it never could get back above it before it did roll over. That is a clue. That's a big raging clue that bulls do not have the momentum on their side, especially when you just easily look back in history of this. And every time it did breach it, it was almost immediate bounces the next day, pretty much almost every time. So when you start camping below that, that's definitely a sign to be cautious. And also a good one to look at was YM, the Dow. This was also camping pretty much on the 55. So a little bit ugly. Nice rallies so far. Really got to get back above 4480 to 4500. We get above that range. That's probably about the 6182 here. Oh no, look at that. Rallied pretty much right to the 618. Yes, and I know you can use wicks or tails. I kind of just split the difference, whatever, because it's usually only like 5 points anyway, so it's like, who cares? But anyway, 618 retracement, mama, camel hump right here, so might need to be a little bit cautious on further upside until we can get probably a week above 4480 on ES. See what the monthly looks like. Whatever, we'll see what that, we'll do that for next week. Kind of the same thing. NASDAQ has a little bit better of a chart. But, I mean, the bulls got some work to do. I mean, the oscillators are showing that the bears are pretty much in control right now, except for Russell, it looks like, which isn't a shocker because it's just been in this middle of this stupid consolidation range for a long, long time. I will say, though, if Russell could muster up the strength to break this trend line up here, we probably would run to 2400. So, keep an eye on that. Otherwise, it's just play the ranges, man. I don't know how many times I've bought this 2160, 2150 area now. So many times I've bought. I think I've done it 4 or 5 times now. It's just an easy trade. It works until it doesn't, right? That's it. Don't overcomplicate this shit, man. That's how you start losing money. And thinking you know better, or remembering other times. You're like, well, last time I did that, it didn't work, or whatever. Well, this is a new time. Past performance, or what is it? Future performance is not based on past results, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that stupid saying is. Is this making a gigantic, here's something I haven't really noticed until now. Is this making a gigantic descending triangle? Maybe. That could be a thing if we kind of draw this out like here. Yeah, that would be interesting, and that points us, and that points us all the way into the, April of next year, right before midterms. That's interesting. All right. And what would 75% of that be if we drew this out more? Yeah, wow, that is very interesting. So maybe breaking point on Russell at the beginning of the year, end of the year here is coming up. That's very interesting. All right. Anyway, so NASDAQ did a little bit better than the others, kind of staying atop this previous business. And as long as it's holding, look at this, bouncing right off this horizontal we've been watching forever. And at about 15K. So as long as it's about 15K, it's all right. But the Bears do have momentum even after this big rally, which is interesting and slightly concerning that might be given up pretty easily. Back above 15.4, though, I would use that as the next support level if we did get above that. Dow Jones, trannies, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. A lot of resistance right here where we are, 14.4, so whatever. VIX, absolutely murder fest. I mean, this is brutal. That's what the VIX likes to do. Pops right up here, comes right all the way back down. See if it's making a saucer. Like a big saucer here. Measured move on that is probably like $50. Man, VVIX got mollywopped on Friday, and Thursday, all the way back down to the major pivot area. This is an interesting chart right here. Huh. All right. Wow. You can see how important this orange line is that I put here, where it almost always will get rejected. There's actually a really good strategy that I use to fade VIX moves, and I just start selling call spreads above when VIX is above. VVIX is above this 140 level. And yes, you do usually have to take some heat on those, but you need to, well, you don't need to do shit. Don't listen to me. But how I do it is I go at least 60 days out, and then usually that will be fine. Because at some point you just get mega vol collapse. You know, even here you can see March 20 and the Corona crash. 60 days, you're already way back down here to 116. So it's a pretty decent strategy. I have some back testing stuff I could share, I guess, with that. But whatever. I don't want to make this stream too long. Do that for another day. All right, oil. Nice bounce off of this. Retesting the 70 handle. Beautiful, beautiful bounce here. So very, very sexy for Earl. I totally missed that trade. Again, I was out of town and just really busy last week. I barely made any trades, but wow. Yeah, right to that trend line cross. Look, it was kind of resistance for one day. Got stopped out for me on that one when it went above 71. And then here we came back and tested 70, 71 with a nice little doji candle. And then the next day follow through. Very, very beautiful chart there. Above 72, 50-ish, this thing looks pretty damn good. Weekly, pretty nice. It does have resistance here at $74 on the weekly, but I really like this setup, this engulfing on the weekly and this follow through. It does kind of look like oil wants to break out. Not so much for bonds. They've been sloppy and downward sloping for a while. Nothing really to see there. I mean, they're all the way back down here on these low ends. Jeebus. TNX breaking out of this ascending triangle. What is a measured move on this conservatively? If we kind of take the middle of that, we're almost already there right here at about 150. So, oops, can look for maybe about 150. I'd expect some resistance there. Dixie actually has a pretty sexy long chart right here. Wow. Okay, so I haven't looked at Dixie. Weekly still building up, but man, this is pretty damn badass above 92.80. You got all the oscillators in your favor right above the 377. If this thing clears 93.50 on a daily, maybe like 2 or 3 dailies, we probably are going to run up to mid 94s and maybe even higher. This is a pretty sexy looking chart right here. So Euro obviously is going to be the opposite of that. Down, pretty much blah, whatever. We can just flip that over. DAX actually, did it barely hold on? It did, but this is a funky ass chart. Let's zoom out maybe. Looks a little bit better, or not like better isn't bullish, but a lot cleaner on the weekly, obviously. But man, this is really sloppy, bouncing off these lows. I don't know. Bears are still dominant on the oscillators and below this mama. And with this is kind of no go for me. I want cleaner reads than that. There's a billion things to trade, so you don't gotta force shit. This is kind of looking like a rejection from the Bears. I don't really like this chart. on the daily. I mean, it's okay as long as it's holding like 3,600. We get below like 3,570. You know, we're probably going to come back into this triangle, but yeah, just real sloppy. I mean, I guess the best thing that it's doing is kind of holding atop this previous business. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, monthly is also agreeing with that 3,550, 3,600 area. So it's as long as it's above that, it's okay. Below that, I would look out. Gold, full bearish reset as well. This does not look good, guys, for gold. This is about to change my long-term silver outlook. We're right on the precipice of this just completely breaking down. It looks so beautiful back here. We started losing the momentum. The bulls are trying to defend the mid 22 handle, and the monthly's still okay. But the bulls got a lot of work to do. And I mean, anything on some daily closes below 22 bucks, which has been the same for a while, even when I was bullish back here. Same thing, same shit, different day where this horizontal is. This is pretty much the line in the sand for the bulls. They really need to step their game up here and not let it really get worked much below like 2050. If there's like some flash wicks down there, all right, but man, not very good. Nice rally on the last week from platinum. That was a little bit surprising. So this right here could be a little bit of a, there we go. Let me look where that line lines up with. Okay, this has a lot of confluence to price history, chopping lots of business. Okay, so this could have been the capitulation dump. Now, it's not that much. I mean, well, I guess it is like 7%. And this candle right here is pretty sexy. This could have been just a little bit overselling pressure, and maybe now we are moving towards bulls trying to get their party going. And you can see this trend line right here is being pretty well respected. We get above this trend line and above like 1020. Then we do have this longer term trend line right above it as well. But you know, this is pretty constructive. I would actually look for this to probably break this to the upside here coming soon. The only thing that would change my mind on that is any price action below 940, 950. Then I would change my mind on that. All right, I think that's it. Awesome. Well, there you go. Much love. I'm going to sign off now. Wrap it up real quick. Bitcoin. Stay above 42, man. We get a couple daily closes below, open and closes below 42, man. It's probably going to 37 at minimum. Bears are getting momentum too. And for the upside, we really got to clear back above 44. And then 48's the real test. But right now, you know, 44 in this trend line would do it. But right now, bears definitely do have the momentum. Ethereum, same thing. 27 and 3 grand is our range right now. And until we get out of that, then maybe we can ratchet up to like 3 to 30, 250, 3,300 like we had before. And I think that's enough for the next few videos. I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. All right, guys, much love. Be cautious out there. There is some funky, dangerous charts, but there's also some good ones. I do think gold and metals, if they can hang on to these lows, might be in an interesting spot. Dixie looks like it's about to break out, which actually wouldn't bode well for gold, generally speaking, and or historically speaking. That's usually the case. And also oil is another one that looks like it's kind of wanting to break out. Let's go to these real quick. Riot, man, these look just not good either. Coinbase, just terrible. Yeah, terrible charts, man. Just getting slapped. Yeah, nothing really there. Something to look into next week is what I'll be doing is looking at some energy stocks. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here. Much love. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all guys soon. Peace.